Jetzt bin ich gespannt, wie das funktioniert.
Like every 4 seasons at Midsummerfest, there is one quest truly aimed at the best. 4 wizards begin deviously to grin, for who the most friends might bring to win.
2 bis 5 Spieler heißt das natürlich. 2 bis 5 Spieler. Und ja, hallo für alle, die. Wait, sorry, we're English here. We're English. It's 2 to 5 players here. And well, we are back from our little video here. And it's really nice to have somebody here in the chat already. And with me there is Michal Vitkovsky. He's the awesome designer of Shiver Timbers. A lovely, lovely sandbox pirate game. I can show it here too, a little bit. He funded last year, like 2 years ago, or 2.5 years ago, with 85,000. Yeah. So, Michal, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, where to start? So yeah, my name is Michael Vitkovsky. I'm an old-time gamer who's been playing board games for around like the past 40 years, I guess, and who decided to design his own pirate board game in well, I decided to do it like in 2014, and then it took me like a bunch of years until we really made Shiver Timbers a reality. Last in 2020 we kickstarted it successfully, I think, and then produced it in 2021. So it's been around for about a year now. Yes. So I'm basically in my main job I'm a PR guy, and in my night job I'm a game designer who always wanted to have a game which played like Sid Meier's Pirates used to play on the C64 in the 80s, and who came up with his own sandbox version.
Yeah, and you really got it good with Shiver Me Timbers. You can pretty much do everything you can do in the computer game, like build your ship and do missions for the governor, join a fleet of like the English or French fleet, and pick up some people from the Netherlands. Like you can fight a kraken or search for treasure. You can trade, and you can do everything. You can just pick up ships and plunder as much as you want.
Yes, because that was the idea behind Shiver Me Timbers. You know, I always I was wondering why pirates were so fascinating, and I think the thing which makes pirates so great is like this ultimate sense of freedom, that you really like you're on your ship. There are no borders, there are no limits, there are no rules, because you are like outside of society. So you really can do what you want to do. And while there was like a bunch of pirate games on the market, and there are some like pretty good ones which I really enjoy, I don't think there was a ship which there was like a game which truly captures this ultimate freedom of selecting basically your goals at the start of your pirate career and then going for it, or or switching goals down the road when you find that you want to do something else entirely. And that was the idea behind Shiver Me Timbers, basically like getting this ultimate freedom. And also I wanted to make like cool ship miniatures.
Yeah, and you got it really cool. It's really it's getting bigger and bigger as more you are upgrading it. Is it the you can pick up more wares or add extra cannons, more sails, and it really works well with the miniatures. Yeah, and all those things you can do in the game, you can do it very smoothly. I think the mechanics work very very smoothly. They are quite simple, and you get a really nice flow. Also, I really like the dual mechanics you have. Like when you're fighting, you're playing against another player, even if it's an NPC ship you're attacking, and yeah, it's not really boring. It's just a very short fight, and even the other players are just rooting for you, and it's quick and it's nice. I really like it.
Yes, I'm struggling with dice. I don't enjoy dice-based combat too much because I always have the feeling that I'm the worst dice roller in the world. So I wanted to do something different and ended up with the card-based mechanic, which I think is a lot of fun too. Yes. So
Yeah.
enough about me. Yeah, just to get you to tell us a little bit about yourself too. Um,
Well,
Great.
compared to you, I'm a super new uh, at game designer, because you already have such a big uh, you're a big accomplished game designer by now. Um,
Far
but
from it.
I'm still new here, and my game Magical Friends, even though it is already very finished, it just needs to be produced. It's just now on Kickstarter. Um, I'm I'm an IT technician. I studied psychology, and now I'm back in IT. But I'm also a huge gamer. I love gaming so much in every direction. If it's RPGs, like tabletop RPGs, or computer games or board games, I play everything, and I played a lot. I love hanging out with friends and play board games. So uh, I have quite a big experience on games I've played. Um, Whenever I look at BGG, I notice that, wow, I know most of those great games that are there, and that's nice to have some background with a lot of gaming. So I created Magical Friends. I'm working now, yeah, 3 years on the game. Um, and it's pretty finished now. Um, I can show you a little box here. So this is a handmade prototype, like you. I know you also did all your prototypes yourself, right?
Yes, I did a ton of prototype production, which was hell, obviously. If you know the miniatures in the game and getting those like 3D printed and painted and uh, good enough to send them out to reviewers was like one of the higher mountains which I had to climb during the
Yeah, those
pre-Kickstarter phase.
those prototype, to get them look like this, well, it's a lot of effort. Like I did 10 of those, and I sent them out to a lot of reviewers, and each one of them took me like 24 hours to make, because I don't know if you checked out the Kickstarter, there are a lot of components, and yeah, everything is done by hand, and yeah, they look nice, but it's a cost of time that I will never get back. And I don't know how many people did your prototypes reach when you sent them out.
Oh, you mean the influencer, the number of influencers and reviewers, or the number of viewers who watch those reviews?
No,
I think
I mean, how many people did a single prototype reach? Like, to how many people you sent
okay.
it?
So yeah, I had a system where I used to send my prototypes to like one reviewer. I had like three prototypes I think which were in the US. I had three which were in Great Britain, and I had like three or four German ones. And I used to send them to a reviewer. And once the reviewer had wrapped up filming, I would ask them to forward it to the next one. And I think most of them reached around 4 or 5 reviewers, but
Yeah.
I had like one German one which was like on the road for around 2.5 years, basically.
Yeah, mine too. If you think like how much time and effort you spend in one prototype, and then it only reaches a few people. Like my prototypes, I think two were lost on the way, um, but they reached like still around 3 or 4 people. But on average, my prototypes reached, I think, seven people, but over a course of 1.5 year. So yeah, a lot of work and a lot of shipping, and yeah, but it's worth. You get a lot of great feedback back, and also like um, the Kickstarter is a relaunch. Like I tried last year already with the Kickstarter, and yeah, no matter if it would have been done or not, there would have been a big rework on the game. But now all the feedback and everything is already inside the new version of Magical Friends, and there is a lot of feedback that comes back from the reviewer. Um, for me, also the prototype that got out is already 1.5 year old, because you have to make the prototype a lot earlier than the Kickstarter will come, because you need to send it out to people. So it's a very early version that goes out to reviewers. I think yours also went around for a long time
Yes.
before the first Kickstarter. You also had a relaunch, right?
Yes, yes. We had like um, I think half a year break between the two campaigns, something like that. So quite a bit of time during which we tried to finalize more artwork. That was basically like the big one. When we went
Yeah.
for the first, when I launched the first Kickstarter, I think I had around like 20% of the artwork completed, and by the time the second campaign came around, we had around half the artwork completed. So still a lot to do. Apart from that, I didn't change too much between campaigns. I think the game worked pretty much really well already when we launched for the first time. So the second campaign was mostly about polishing the looks and getting more artwork,
Yeah.
and obviously like getting some more traction on social media and doing like a ton of marketing, but not necessarily changing the game too much. But I think you made some significant changes, right, between version
Mm,
1 and
not
2?
not that big changes. Like the biggest change was the two-player version. I wasn't really happy with it. At the time where the prototype went out, it wasn't finished. Um, I tried to tell the reviewers, but sometimes I forgot to mention it. And yeah, so there are some reviews also with the two-player version, and I'm not happy with that. There are some not great parts of it. So if you played the game the first time as a two-player game, there was a lot going on. Was a lot of information going on, because you use the double amount of creatures. It's important in Magical Friends that all the paths are filled and there is a lot of interaction. So I used double the amount of creatures, but that wasn't really great if you played the game for the first time. So I changed the two-player version completely. Um, Now you will play the regular amount of creatures. Like you will summon one creature every round. So it's 7 creatures for a whole game of Magical Friends, and there will be a third player, a dummy player, a little wizard that is um, on his own, and he wants to be influenced by you. So the two players playing the game will try to boast with their big artifacts to control the third player. Whoever bids for the highest initiative, like the highest artifact card, will be controlling the third player now. So this brings a lot of new flair into the two-player game. There will be enough creatures on the board, because you will also pick out one path, so you will have 3 paths for 3 players. There will be a lot of action there. Also, with the dummy player now, the bidding for initiative is a lot more interesting with 2 players, because I guess you can imagine bidding for initiative with one other player is really like okay, now you go first. Now I go first. Now you go
Mhm.
first. Without the third player, that's really, really ah. But it's interesting now that you will also have to control a third player. So it's a battle to control the third player too. Like controlling the third player two times in a row is quite a huge swing, but it's hard to keep that up. And so yeah, the two player mode got a big wrap up. Also,
Uh-huh.
the game time is reduced by one round. A few changes made it possible to make it work in 7 rounds very well. And just having a little bit of a shorter game just allows you to play it more often and quicker. You can easier get it on board. It's always great. I
Uh,
think you also always think about how to make some mechanics quicker. So game time is always a challenging thing for
Give them,
designers.
which is like a funny thing because for me as a player, I love long games. For me, sitting down and knowing that I will spend like the next 4 hours in, I don't know, like in the Nemesis universe, like trying to hunt down aliens, or in Shiver Me Timbers, trying to be a pirate. I don't really mind long games, but uh, after Shiver Me Timbers got out, I did have like a couple of people, like a small percentage, maybe like a quarter or 20% of people who asked if there was like a way to speed up the game slightly because it did take some time. And as you know, I've been toying with the idea of doing an expansion for Shiver Me Timbers, or I've been working on an expansion for Shiver Me Timbers like for a couple of months now, and I think we found a really neat way to shorten the game without basically without taking away neither the storytelling nor the strategy. So I'm quite happy with that. Mostly, it's like about simplifying the setup and the teardown of the game. So I'm really cool with that. Apart from that, I can totally understand like how difficult it is to implement like the lower player count versions of games, because I'm one of the big goals of my expansion is um, to add a solo mode for Shiver Me Timbers, and well, handling like a clever automa which will manage
Yeah,
to do the duels in a manner that is challenging but not too hard, and which is like predictable but not too predictable. That's like really one of the harder challenges of game design. But
yeah,
I think we're on a good way there too. So I really enjoy testing Shiver Me Timbers by myself, like the solo mode. I think this will make for a really compelling experience. It's I mean the whole game is about telling your life story, and frankly, like you don't really need other players to tell a great pirate story with Shiver Me Timbers. So this is
yeah,
like one of the sweeter parts of the expansion. Also, if I may, like a final teaser, another thing which will probably be included is kind of a cooperative mode where like the players will work together to master certain challenges, which I think is a really neat way
yeah,
um, to balance a game like Shiver Me Timbers, where you always have like the situation, or not always, but sometimes you have like very competitive players who focus strongly on the points, and like very narrative driven players who like want to tell a great pirate story. And if those two clash in a competitive game, that's not always like the best situation, because the competitive ones will be frustrated because the other one is like not competitive, and the narrative driven ones will be frustrated because the competitive ones are like not that much into developing the pirate life story. And I think a co-op mode is like a pretty good way to balance this, where everyone will have like to do their part, but also everyone will get to take their freedoms to drive their story forward. So that's like the third bit which I'm really excited about. And there's like a ton more
yeah.
stuff coming for the expansion. So I'm like,
And
yeah,
expansion gives so much room for extra things that you can't put in a base game, because at some point it's too much. But
yes,
as a designer, you have so many ideas to add, but you can't do all of them.
Yes,
Naturhauf asked if there will be a new Kickstarter for you.
from Shiver Me Timbers.
Yeah.
Yes, I probably yes, because just to give you like a brief update of where we stand with Shiver Me Timbers. So we sold out the game last year in Essen. Last year in Essen, we sold the last couple of copies, um, and the first print run is basically completely gone. And the only way to get it is probably just getting lucky on eBay or in one of the Facebook groups. So natural thing would be to run a Kickstarter as soon as possible. But frankly, I really want to finalize the expansion first, and then we will do a proper new Kickstarter where we will offer the base game, we will offer the expansion, we will offer like some kind of bundle for people who want to get like everything right away.
Mhm.
And once we wrap that up, um, what we will probably do will be produce like a print run of the base game first, because that won't change at all, and then send out then tackle the expansion like probably a bit later.
Mhm.
um
Mhm.
Also, like to be like completely open and upfront about that, I'm not going to push the date and to try to do
Yeah.
it as quickly as possible, both because I really want to do the expansion justice, but also because right now Kickstarter is like not the best place to be, in my
Yeah.
opinion. It's like we have like a very difficult situation with a super weak euro, which makes production more expensive. We have like still a bit of a shipping crisis going on, where no
Mhm.
one knows how they will get their games to the backers. We have some
And
changes
living
in.
is a little bit expensive right now at some
Yes,
points.
we have high inflation. We have like uh, pretty still like some challenges with Brexit and
Yeah.
backers in the UK. We have like still some trouble with the VAT. I'm still like not super sure if Kickstarter or GameFound will be the platform of choice
Yeah.
for the next years to come. So there's like a ton of variables, and I'm right now I'm like quite happy being the designer again and polishing my expansion and working on
Yeah.
that before I will put on the publisher hat once again
Yes.
and tackle Kickstarter.
I
That
can
said, I'm
understand a little bit of break at some point is just really nice. I also would, I think if I will do later an expansion Kickstarter, I will not start it before I finish it. I will not do another Kickstarter where the game is not completely done, unless a little bit, maybe some small things the backers can upgrade by giving their own influence into it. Um, I guess for
this
you it's the same. You will not put out a Kickstarter if not everything is done.
probably yes. The thing is like when I I like completely underestimated how challenging and how tough and how much work the Kickstarter would be. So I was like last year after we had like delivered the games and everyone was happy. I really needed a break. I really needed to take a couple of months off and like not think about publishing and about Kickstarter anymore for some time, because this is like for someone who works like a a real job, like a real full-time job, in addition to the Kickstarter, or the Kickstarter in addition to a proper job. That's like yeah, I found that like super challenging. Maybe you can I don't I think the Kickstarter itself was like pretty hard, but the time afterwards, after the game had been funded and the production started and you had to coordinate like production and logistics and keeping the backers informed, that was like way harder than the
Oh
Kickstarter itself.
no!
So right now, yes, you're in a sweet
Yeah.
spot, but yeah,
A
there are
sweet
like
spot.
there's a ton of major challenges still ahead. So yeah, I needed some time off, and now I'm like back again, designing once again, and another Kickstarter is on the horizon, but I'm not sure if I will squeeze it in this year in fall or maybe like next year. We'll see. There's still like yeah, There's still like a
Yeah,
ton of work to do, and I really want to have like everything wrapped up and prepared. And I don't think we are under any pressure, though. It's obviously like one thing which is like driving me mad is that I get like orders. People request when will the game will be available again. Retailers want to order copies. Um, we had like several publishers who wanted to cooperate with us and join forces with us. So that's like having to push everything back and to
yeah,
ask everyone to give me more time. That sucks definitely, and I would prefer not having to do it. But on the other hand, I'm pretty happy where we are right now. I'm really happy that we wrapped up the first Kickstarter successfully, and I'm currently like picking up speed again for the second one.
yeah, yeah. Now take your time because yeah, you need some some rest to it. It's really exhausting to work
Yes.
and do a board game publishing at the same time. The designing is nice and it takes time, but it takes a lot less than all the work around it, publishing it. Naturhof asked if the variant or if Mickey's board game YouTube review already had the dummy rules. I'm so sad because actually they got the prototype like I don't know 2 or 3 months ago. So the new rules were there already for sure, but I forgot to tell them about it. So they played the old board game rules um, and also the old version of the two-player modus, and it felt so bad when I noticed it. So yeah, they did not play the new rules, but you can see the rules on the Kickstarter too. So far, I can only explain about it, and yeah, I thought about doing a small video about it, but it's really hard for me with not a great video equipment, especially with the light. It's not easy to do a gameplay thing. I could do it on Tabletop Simulator. It works really really well to stream something, but I noticed from a lot of people they want to see a real board game and they don't want to see a tabletop version of it. So I did not find the time yet to make a video for it. Um, Maybe I should show a little bit more about Magical Friends and what's going on with it. Um, so I will just show this here, I think. So I will just show the Kickstarter page. Here you will have a link. Um, so yeah, you will have a lot of reviews, by the way, especially something like Hungry Gamer. He's really, really a nice person. It was so nice talking with him. Michal, did you also have the opportunity to work with the Hungry Gamer?
Yes, yes, I did long after the campaign. I think he did a review this year in April or May, something like that. And he genuinely enjoyed Shiver Me Timbers. I was really really happy because it's like I don't know how you feel, but for me, sending out like a review copy and then like waiting until you get the
Yeah,
feedback and crossing your fingers, that's like hell. I still
yeah,
hate that. That's like so terrible. And whenever someone replies and tells you that he genuinely liked the game and that he uh, will, for example, he told me that he never had a pickup and delivery game which was good enough to keep in his collection, and Shiver Me Timbers was
yeah,
like the first one which he decided to keep. So I was like, yeah, I was like super proud, and also
yeah.
enjoyed working with him tremendously. He's a great guy.
He's a great guy. His videos are really really fun to watch, and he's a very motivating person. It's really great talking with him, playing with him. And yeah, well, I did not play with him, but we talked about the game a lot. Um, yeah. So at the Kickstarter, you can click all those quotes to get to the review. By the way, sometimes people don't notice it because I think not many Kickstarters actually put links behind the pictures, but it really works well with all um, those quotes. actually,
Hmm.
because otherwise it will be flooded with video screens.
Yes.
Yeah, so check out the reviews, and keep a like for the reviewers. They doing a lot of work with it. It's not easy to do those great video works. You have to have some equipment, and it's not easy to set up all those things to have great videos. Um, so in Magical Friends, you're one of five wizards by now, um, that are trying to win the Midsummer competition. There is one every year, and they always compete. But this time, the challenge is a little bit hard for them because they have to bring as many friends to the tavern as possible to win it. And as they are hermits and live in their own secluded hut outside in the wood, it's quite hard for them to bring a lot of friends. So they have to cheat, like every year. Um, but this time they will just summon magical friends, put the gingerbread heart around their neck, and send them to the tavern to pretend to be a friend. So in Magical Friends, you will have a lot of components. You can see it here. You will have a lot of standees, and actually, that was one of the harder things to do, and one of the challenges I didn't know that was a challenge at all. I don't know, Michal. How many games do you know that use that many standees in a single game?
I don't think I know any games which use that many standees.
Exactly. I didn't realize it until I did it. Like, there are games like Gloomhaven who have a lot of standees in the box, but usually you will only use like 4 or 5 different ones during a
Mhm.
scenario. And well, in a game of 5 players in 7 round, you will have at least 35 standees, and that's a challenge. So that's why you will also see here there is an inlay for those standees, and I never seen an inlay for standees too. I will show a little bit more about it. Um, yeah, and you will have a lot of other components, but the most challenging ones are the standees. We will have a few extras like the fancy pack. It's an extra set of cards like the basic cards, but they will have the artwork more presented. So you will not have those frames, but you will see a lot more of the artworks. It's not necessary, but it's definitely very very pretty to look at. There is an art book for those who fancy those art prints and stuff like that. Um, like Michael said, art takes a lot of time. So between his Kickstarters, the artwork got finished, and also for me, the artwork got finished. It takes really a lot of time to have around, yeah, for me, it's around 80 artworks. Um, like 11 smaller ones from the small cards, but as you can see, the 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 card art with the normal cards are quite detailed and big. um like, this is the full artwork of the mermaid, and you will see a big part of it on my card, but not everything. So yeah, those artworks are not as small as they might look. Altogether 80 artworks. And this time with the Kickstarter, there will be something new, and it will be acrylic standees and hearts. Why standees and hearts? I noticed having those acrylic standees, they look really, really nice and cute. I made some myself, but it's not
Mhm.
as well done as professionally made ones. I can I guess you can imagine, Michael. But
Yes.
yeah, once they are really nice, centered and finished, I've seen some prototypes from my manufacturer. They look really cool. And well, having acrylic standees and putting a cardboard gingerbread heart around it, well, it just doesn't look great. So you really need the same kind of material, if you put them above each other, and that's why there are hearts and acrylic standees, and that's a lot of acrylic. That's a lot of acrylic. Um, yeah. How does the game play? Well, it is rather simple to play. I think Michael found that out too. The rules are not very,
the
very
the
complicated,
rules,
right?
yes, yes, the rules are super easy. It's like, yeah, I played it with my family, and it's like a super deceiving game because the rules are easy. Everything looks cute and nice, and everything looks like very playful and very very like,
Cute.
easygoing.
Yeah.
Yes, but once you kick the game off, you find out that it's like, first off, it's like deceptively deep strategically because you can like combine multiple cards, and there are like tons of interactions which you can leverage to gain a couple of spots which might like make the difference in the end. So that's like, the depth of it came like as a surprise. And the other thing is that it's like much meaner and more cutthroat than you would, or like interactive, you could say, than what you would
Yeah.
expect at first sight, because there are like all these combinations and interactions which you can use. You can also use them like to throw a wrench between, in the machine of your opponents, so you can always like, interact and yeah, it's like actually like pretty cutthroat in a very very good way. We really enjoyed it a ton.
Yeah. I wanted to create a little bit of the atmosphere like in Small World. The gameplay is completely different, but it has the same feeling of relatively simple rules, but a lot is going on in a very small world. You also have here just a few paths, and it's not far to reach the tavern, but well, you will have to deal with the other creatures on the way there. Yeah. So usually you have two steps in the game. The first part is always uh, to bid for initiative. Um, every player has 11 artifact cards. The higher ones go first, and the lower ones have some bonus effects. Um, so there will be a starting player going around, and the starting player just picks the first card. Like here, for example, in this clip, orange starts playing the 4, black the 1, blue the 7, and gray couldn't play the 4 because already 4 is on the board, so he has to take another card. You will always have a clear order to play, like here 7 4 2 1, and in this turn order you will play your move. Um, and then you just do everything else in your turn the way you want it. You will pick up one of the creature cards that will give you two things. Like, first, it will tell you which creature you get and what abilities it has. And at the same time, it also gives you the movement for a turn. So if you pick up the imp, you will have two creatures move 3 steps. If you pick up the Cyclops, you can move 3 creatures for 2 steps. This will change every turn. So it is always important to pick the right creatures that fit your combo, but also give you the movement you need. And then you just play them and move your creatures the way you want and use their abilities. And with that freedom, you also have a lot of potential to tricky things. Um, I guess Michael also found that out over the course of the game that you can, yeah, you have a lot of options once you
Yes.
noticed it. Um, not all creatures can slay other creatures, but some of them can do that. And, well, it's always nice to slay an opponent's creature because you will take their heart, the gingerbread heart, of course, we're not barbarians, and pick them up as a trophy. Because if you have the most trophies at the end, you will get the bonus friend. And also, for every 4 hearts you picked up as a trophy, you will also get a bonus friend in the tavern. And at the same time, it's very sad for the opposing player to lose a friend, so they will get pity power. And pity power is a great way to come back because it gives you some bonus movement. Yeah. Um, for me as a designer, it's always important that there is a lot of interactivity. I don't really like too much of luck components, and there is almost no luck in the game. You will move whatever you pick to move. Um, and there are only two paths that have a little bit of luck involved in it, where you roll a die. Otherwise, there is the luck component, that which cards come up every turn. But you will always have a preview and see what's coming up. But this shuffling the deck will allow you to have a different game every time you play the game. You will never play the same combos of creatures against other combos of creatures. So replayability is important for me, low luck is important for me, and a lot of interactivity is important for me. So next to the different creature cards, you will also have double-sided pathways, and you can flip them. They're different. Uh, yeah, they are just different, and they have also, like, if you play with different combinations, you will find different combos with your creatures with it. Yeah. So I told you about an inlay. I have an inlay made for my creature standees. That's actually quite the effort with a manufacturer. There is a lot of small things that makes it more effort. I guess Michal can imagine doing an inlay and stuff like this is
Ton of
costly, and
work. Yes.
is a lot of work. Um, for me, it's important that you can store everything well away. So in my game, you will have not that much air in it, because the space will be used very well. I try to store everything in a way that it doesn't fall around too much. And yeah, you will have the
It's a
first inlays at the standy inlay. Yeah.
Yes, it's a very smart one actually, because I like that. I like it if stuff is not just done for style points, just having a cool inlay is like really useful, especially if like this one, this shortens both, like especially the setup and the game flow. It does speed that up like quite a bit because, as you said, you have like 30 or 40 different friends which you summon during the game, and if you had like just a bag of standees where you would have to select them from, that would like take super long and would make it like very cumbersome. And with that,
Yep.
it's like, okay, you know that, I don't know, number two are the skeletons, so you get your four skeletons, you just draw the four twos out of the box, and that's
Yep.
like a really nice one.
Yeah. I there is no question about playing this game without the inlay is really annoying. But at the same time, playing it with the inlay makes it super comfortable. I really hope, no matter how my game does, that some companies are using some way of this inlay, but it makes the production a little bit more expensive, and a lot of companies probably won't do that. Still, I hope they will do it. Yeah. So with my relaunch, there has been upgrades to the game. So there are rule changes and upgrades, and there is a lot of feedback in the new rules. But there are also two stretch goals now in the game already. Like last year, there were 40 creatures, and now there are 50 creatures. Um, there is also a fifth player by now, so it's also interesting for families of 5 people to play. And yeah, so you will already get a lot more than last year. You will find a lot of videos with reviews, with playthroughs on the Kickstarter page. You will always also find a tabletop simulator version of the game. You can play it there whenever you want and try it out. You can play it as much as you want. There is everything inside the game there. Have fun and enjoy it. So the stretch goals, I already adjusted it a few times to rather get to where we might be heading. Um, so there will be a little bit of an upgrade to the box, having it more shiny and everything. And with 40,000, we would also do some asymmetric player powers. I already am I'm testing it already for quite a while. Let's see. Yeah. Otherwise, a lot of reviews, um, shipping cost, whatever. You will find it there. So, um, do we have some more questions to the games, like Shiver Me Timbers or Magical Friends? I'm happy to answer whatever you would like to know. Um, I'm just checking here if some people are answering in Facebook, because maybe some people won't have time, but well, they would be probably posting later then. Okay. Um, so I'm looking forward to have a lot of more people joining the Kickstarters, because we probably need around 50 or 60 backers more to reach the funding goal. But I'm quite certain we can make it. We still have, I think, yeah, more than 2 weeks to go.
Yes, no worries at all that you will make it.
Yeah, I also
You,
don't think
if you
so.
stand at 80% right now, this is going to be really, really easy.
Yeah, I did cancel last year. I will not cancel this year. Um, yeah, if we do it closely, I probably will make a loss with it. You can imagine that. But I wanna finish it. It looks great. I will not do another Kickstarter campaign. I just will finish this one for sure. Um, a reason also why I stopped last year. I I actually wanted to have the fifth player and the extra creatures in it. I already planned with it for the inlay for those extra creatures, and bringing them with an expansion would just be horrible. You can imagine splitting the box in, like making the box smaller to fit a smaller inlay, and then bring an expansion that should fit more creatures. It's just not
Mm.
great. It's not great.
Yes, I think this is like one thing which more and more publishers are realizing right now, that the very low player counts and the very high player counts are getting more and more important. With
Yeah,
the whole board gaming space becoming more and more diverse, this is all changing up a little bit. And it used to be that your games had to play like three or four, and that was good enough. Then you had like the couples who started to pushing for 2 to 4 players so that two people can play it. Right now, you have a very strong movement that every game, or basically like most games, should have like a solo mode or an automa mode, and pushing towards like having a fifth player, because some groups are just larger. I myself have 3 kids, so whenever we do like a family game night, we need like 5 players, because that's like
yeah.
the only way to do it. So I think this is like something which is shifting a little bit, and it will probably continue to shift.
Natuov asks for more stretch goals. Well, there are more ideas for stretch goals, but some of the stretch goals really increases the production price. So at some point, I have to get more people into the Kickstarter campaign before I can do those. Um, I also think for a lot of Kickstarter campaigns you see online, the stretch goals are those things that make the games very expensive. Um, I know that some companies do, like if you have different components, some special components are shipped together. Like you have your game components A, B, and C, but you need something special that only another company can deliver. You will get the other company to ship it first to the company A, and they will package it all together. And shipping around all those things, maybe 4 or 5 different packages and stuff like this, makes it really expensive to ship and produce. It's the only way I feel like some prices can come together, because um, yeah, I don't know. Some prices are really really weird. Mm, yeah. So just so you see, like this is my game. Yeah. If you can compare it, how big it is, it's like 50% bigger or higher than Settlers of Catan. So I guess some of you didn't see it yet, but this is Shiver Me Timbers. It's a little bit hard to see here, but it is bigger than than Magical Friends, and it's great. It has a lot of awesome things inside, and maybe I will have the greatest of all standy inlays. I think if you ever get the chance to buy Michal's uh, metal coins for Shiver Me Timbers, they are the best coins I've ever seen. They are really 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 awesome. You have like doubloons and half a doubloon, and yeah, they are just great. I love them. They're really really awesome. And just so you know, like yeah, this is my game, and as you might have noticed in the comments, I will be at Essen, but I will not have a booth there. I think Michal will also be there as a visitor like me,
Yes.
but I will also present my game, even though I won't have a booth. In a very small way, it is. My artist asked if I could do a small version of the game just to show a little bit. And I thought, like, I'm not sure if this works. Like my standees have to fit through slots and stuff like this, and I have to use very thin material. Um, but yeah, I did a 1 to 3 version of my board game, and everything is in there. You will have all the all the standees, all the tiny paths. Well, they are tiny. Um, you will have like the board. It's just like this. Um, and even the inlay with the standees you will find there. So everything is in there, and I will show that around at Essen. Um, if anybody asks what I'm doing there, I'm just cosplaying myself, because in my game there is a little shop where I am selling my board game. So there is an Easter egg in the board game, and I will be cosplaying as the Easter egg in my board game. Huh. Yeah. So, Michael, you're going there. Are you? Do you already
I
know
will
how many days you will be there?
I will probably be there only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And mostly I will bring my kids this time. I don't have a booth because I don't have like anything to show and anything to sell. So I will be there mostly as a visitor and maybe like to meet up with some folks with whom I've had like contact
Yeah.
during the campaign, but not since. So really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm also happy that I will not have a booth this year. Last year, like 4 days on a booth, always explaining your game. Whenever somebody is talking with you, small talk, it feels so nice to not have to explain the game, and it's so exhausting. With the campaign now, I think like for already 12 weeks or so, I'm working like 55 hours or 60 hours on like my regular job and at the board game at the same time, and I'm happy that I will be there just as a visitor. But my artist Hannah will be there with an artist booth again. So yeah, you can see there some of her stuff and also a little bit more of Magical Friends there. And yeah, that will be quite nice. Um, Michael,
Mhm.
you also have a great artist for your stuff.
Yes, I have a great artist for my stuff. I have yes. It's a guy by the name of Unique Sopari. Yes.
I really love the cover. It
Oh
looks
man, the
epic.
cover is
It
like
has
yes,
everything.
yes,
I think it's for sure the best artwork in the game.
yes. I
Um,
love it.
it has everything. It's really really nice. It looks very epic.
Yes, I love it a lot too. Yes, we were like also obviously you can probably like you can imagine how much work went into this one artwork alone because it's like composed of I don't know like 6 or 7 different artworks which we had all fine-tuned and to polish and to make sure that everything went together. But working with Unique has been like a treat. He's just awesome. He's like he has like this ton of creativity where you just give him like I don't know. I used to brief him like by telling him I need like I don't know a pirate in his pirate cave with his treasures, and then basically just see where he would take it from there. And he always came up like with 5 or 6 great ideas like of tiny details which make the artwork come alive and work so well. And usually that would inspire me to have like ideas of my own, and then we would like tweak it until we got everything right. Really enjoy working with him. Great guy.
Yeah. Yeah. You like me. We are actually doing pretty much everything ourselves and have all the risk at
Yes.
ourselves. But we need artists.
Yes.
Doing that yourself is just wow. You can't just do that in a quality like this. You can't just learn that. You have to live it that way to get that good and get a lot of like that many artworks in that good quality. So even though we did most things alone, those artists are really really important, and they become part of a team for sure. Also Nessie and Hannah did super great work with their art, and they supported a lot. They like last year Nessie was with me at the booth. Without her I couldn't have done it, and it yeah, it's awesome to work with them. um but what's also very nice, like Michal and me, I think I played his prototype with the Austrian board gamer. um I don't know how much time this is already past, but I played the game there and it was really nice there. And sometime later I talked to Michael about Kickstarter and stuff like this online. And yeah, it was always nice to talk with Michael. He has great insight. And at some point it's similar. We both both relaunched a campaign. And yeah, last year we met at Essen the first time in real life, and it was really nice. We have a lot of common, a lot of similar interests in board games, and since then we started to meet regularly and share our experiences. And that's also very great to have somebody common minded, to share how it's going, because you will just push more. And whenever you're a little bit out of the zone of designing, you will come back and think of, yeah, I had some ideas, and you will think about it. And it's nice. It's really nice to work with another game designer. And I'm looking forward to get your prototype to play. um yeah.
It's coming. It's coming.
And like self-publishing, it's a huge world you come into. I've learned so much from Michael, and I've learned much from other designers. You will get a lot of information. The board game designers, they're a really nice community. But they come in every size. Some people only make small card games. Some people make only huge miniature games. But well, miniature games are usually companies because they are expensive. Um, yeah. Um, the games come in various sizes, and you will have hobby designers to professional designers you will have everything there, and there is so much to learn. When you're solo publishing, you will be the one that checks out the quotes with manufacturers, and there are a lot of different manufacturers. You will have to deal with fulfillment and shipping. That's also a big thing. And you're doing all of this internationally, and that makes a big thing on its own, because everything local in your own countries is so much easier than shipping it everywhere in the world and having to deal with different taxes and stuff like this. I don't know. I think you will have a very big idea now what's going on after you shipped already.
Yes, I mean, this is those are like the things which you completely underestimate when you start the whole Kickstarter process. This is like the one part which I mean, obviously you do like kind of plan it in an abstract way, but once like when it becomes a reality and you really have to make the decisions and you really have to set everything up, that's like a whole new world which opens up before you. You know, like I don't know, uh, in which parts do you have to pay fees and in which parts do you not have to pay fees, and
Hmm.
where do you pay taxes and where do you pay VAT and where don't you have to pay VAT, and that's like this is like a completely different realm, obviously. You know, like I don't know, one of the things which I learned, for example, was that you have to you have to insure your games when they are put on the ship and transported, and insure them as highly as you can, because basically companies like freight forwarders tend to overload their ships right now because freight space is so scarce, and the uninsured shipments will be put like on the very top of the ship and on the very borders of the ship. So those are the ones which might fall off during transport. And if you pay like a lot of insurance, then they will put you like at the very bottom of the ship. So your games will be like much safer in transport and stuff like that. Is like, you know, like those little stories which you pick up along the way while
Yeah.
you're doing this. This is like a very fun part and exciting part of the whole process. And
Yeah.
obviously you have like similar stories to tell, not about freight, but about shipping companies and about how to transport parcels and about how the printing process works and about how manufacturing works. So you learn a lot, and it's like a very exciting journey, definitely.
Yeah, it is. It is very exciting, and there are so much more things you have to do. Like taking care of Kickstarter. Kickstarter is a big thing. It takes a lot of time to advertise. Like advertising is a really big thing. As a solo designer, as a new designer, nobody knows you. You have your friends and family. Clearly, they know you, and and played your game, but you also you can't just sell to your friends and family. If you really want to make a board game, you have to order at least 1,000, better 1,500 games, because 1,500 is mostly the lower end um of a production run. And well, you have to sell a lot of those things, because otherwise you have like 10 pallets of games standing around and you have to somehow store them. And this way you have to really meet a lot of strangers. Like meeting them on booths is really nice. Even though it was very exhausting last year, it is also really nice to have strangers playing your game and enjoy it so much. Getting feedback that they like it, that they would like to support it, it really is awesome. But at the same time, you also have to find completely strangers, people you did not have to did not meet at the booth. And that's really a hard thing. Also on Kickstarter, that people don't know you, they just see your stuff and they need to like it, and that's a tough thing. I don't know how you felt with advertising.
Well, for me, it's maybe like a little bit different because I come from an I mean I own an advertising company like as my main job. So I that was like not complete foreign, but oh, there's a lot to talk about. First is like obviously you have to put in the legwork. You have to go to fairs. You have to meet people, show your game, um, which I thought I would probably hate when I started because I'm like more like an introvert guy and I want to be to myself. But I found out that I really love it. I mean, it's really I yeah. When people ask me, I always say you travel to a fair like Essen and you do like demos for 5 days and you come back so much stronger and so much
Yeah,
more like focused on the project and so much happier that
yeah,
I really think this is like one of the big pluses of the whole Kickstarter process. As far as online marketing is concerned, I find that very difficult because it's like
yes,
still you never know exactly, you spend a ton of money and then you get like result X, but you never know which of
yes,
the measures which you initiated really worked and which didn't work. That's like I assume that if you ran like multiple campaigns and you had like a very good tracking process and analysis process, then you would probably like become better with time. But for someone who just runs one campaign so far in his like whole career, this is like still very hard to interpret correctly. So I found that like pretty pretty unsatisfying. I really didn't
yeah.
enjoy that bit too
You
much.
you never
And
know how many people are really
yes,
really going that deep in and support you. By the
yes.
way,
So
I'm happy that you hyped Matthias and also Michael. I'm happy you enjoyed playing the game so far. Yeah,
yes. And the thing about meeting like the Kickstarter crowd, that's like I think like a double-edged sword. There are like tons of great people who are like super nice and who will like carry you and who will like support you and who will also make you like feel really good about yourself and your
yeah,
project. And then on the other hand, like on for every 99 good guys, there's like one presumed troll who will just like who will like attack you relentlessly about your game, and you will never know what you did to him and why he is so mean,
yeah.
but he will just be there in the comment section and he will like
Yeah, and
make your
especially
campaign
if you're
way more
already
difficult.
exhausted, this one
Yes,
person can really just give a little bit extra, and it's just
yes.
very tough.
Also, especially if your campaign is not going according to plan, if you're
Yeah,
like not knowing if you during like the first campaign, which I had to cancel too, that was like this is like yeah, this is like so draining and costing so much energy.
yeah,
So that's like really yeah. But from what I saw, Kickstarter has announced very recently that they will like offer new tools to creators which help you control the comment sections a little bit better. And I'm really excited to see how this will turn out because I think this is like a very it's like yeah,
um I think did I lose you? No, no, you're there. Like you said, yeah. Also with going out to fairs and meet people. Um, yeah, you meet strangers. You need meet people that you never met before, but at the same time, you're usually meeting like-minded people. You're meeting board gamers, and you share a big hobby together, and so yeah, it's really nice to meet those people, and that's why I'm also looking forward to Essen because yeah, there are a lot of gamers there, and it's just really nice to hang out with them. Also, there is a great group of people online for board game designers, and I'm also looking forward to have a meetup with them again. Last year we met at the pub, and wow, those people are really awesome. I think we will meet them too this year. I'm not sure. Was it last time? Was it on Friday? I think you
I
will
think
be
yes,
there, right?
I think there was Friday, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, really looking forward to Essen. Obviously, Essen's gonna be great. It's always great. It's great
It's
as a designer, it's
exhausting,
great
but
as
it's awesome.
yes.
It's 4 days full of madness. Um, when I first was at Essen, it was I think 2019. uh, I was there with a first prototype I handmade with an inlay already, because I wanted to show it to manufacturers. And and you go there as somebody who doesn't know many manufacturers, and you have like this big plan, with all the booths and people who are on the fair, in all the different hallways and everything. And like, at some point you don't really know who is Panda Games, but Panda Games, just the name, it could be a board game company, like a designer or a publisher. It could be a shop that sells board games, because hey, Panda Games, it could be a shop that just sells accessories to board games, or it can be what it actually is, a manufacturer. So when I went there first time, I was just going through the hallways and actually walk to every booth and check out if it is a manufacturer or not. And I came back with the contacts for 19 manufacturers. I don't know to how many did you talk, Michael? How many quotes did you get for your game?
Okay, this is going to be like a bit embarrassing, maybe, but I talked to one manufacturer
And that was
over the
Panda.
whole, and that was Panda, yes.
Yeah,
Because when I went, my very first Essen was in 2014, so 5 years before you. I went there with my little wooden crafted ships, which
yeah,
already were multi-part and with tons of moving pieces. And I went straight to Panda because I knew that they were working with Stonemeyer games, so I
yes,
knew that they were like pretty good at producing top quality.
yeah. It's like the
And I
Apple.
Yes, and I met the German representative there, and he was like super kind, which in retrospect is like, I mean, yeah, he could have kicked me off like just like that because I obviously had no idea what I was doing, and
Mhm.
he took the time to sit down with me, and he took the time to explain me why the wooden pieces were probably like not ideal, and how we could fix that, and how we could like do plastic miniatures. And I used to meet him like in Essen for the next 4 years, and I would always like keep him updated over the about the progress which we were making and about the things which were like getting more and more serious and more concrete. And yes, and he basically like carried me like through the whole process and
Yeah,
accompanied me the whole time. And he was like always there whenever I had any questions. And yeah,
yeah. You will
so
probably find that with Panda and not many others.
yes, and I always stuck with them, like start
Yeah,
to finish. It was like always because I would frankly have found it like super unfair to tap into their knowledge and to ask for their support and to have them help me and guide
yeah,
me like for 5 years and then like switch to a different manufacturer just because he's like a bit cheaper or
yeah,
whatever. That was like not really an option for me. It
yeah,
was like very clear that I was like married to Panda and that I would stick with them.
yeah,
So that's what I did.
yeah. I can totally understand. Yeah, I did quotes from 19 manufacturers. I definitely wouldn't do it anymore if I would do another project, even if I would get more quotes. But it is quite interesting. At the beginning, you're getting a lot of quotes back, and they range from, I don't know, $5 to $25. So a big difference, and you will get so many different materials and everything. It's overwhelming. But once you get through those demos and say, this is this material and that's that material, you will send them what you really need, and then you have comparable quotes. So there are a lot of manufacturers that seem like, well, they print things, and so they say they also print board games. Um, and yeah, I didn't really care much about them. But there are a lot of companies, like I think at least six, seven, that I think they are on the top notch that should be looked out. And yeah, I worked with Longpack now, and I'm really happy with Longpack. I also have a very good relationship with them, and yeah, I would not change it anymore. Even if they might be a little bit more expensive than some others, I'm pretty sure the quality is good. I always have great feedback to from other designers for Longpack, and yeah, I'm really happy with them. But yeah, you will learn a lot with the manufacturer. They have a lot of knowledge to share, and that's important. It's really important. Yeah. So I think we've talked for 1 hour and 15 minutes about our games. Um,
Yes.
how do you think you wanna tap into um some other topic, or do you think
No,
it's good for now?
I think we're pretty good for now, right?
I
I
think
yes.
everybody learned a lot about our games now, and
It's,
yeah, a little bit of what it is to be a game designer. There's a lot of things going on. Yeah. Especially if you're self-publishing. It's a lot different
it's
if you're just designing the game and get with the game to a prototype with a prototype to a publisher. They will do a lot of work. Like I think if I made my game and went to a publisher, I had around 10% of the work I've done so far. I don't know how you think.
yes, definitely, definitely. Designing the
Yeah.
game was like, yeah, that was like still fun and easy. Also, I yeah, I spoke to a lot of publishers when yeah when the game was basically like finished. Then I pitched it to several publishers, and basically all of them were like, "Whoa, this is a great game. We're enjoying this a lot. We would like to do it, but
But it's
get
too
rid of
expensive.
get rid of the miniatures." And I was like a bit stubborn at that time because I but this is like once again what I mentioned earlier, that I think that doing stuff just because it looks great is probably not like the best, or that's not what I
Mhm.
want to do. But I really think that the modular ship miniatures, that this is like still quite unexplored territory in the board game space. You know that having functional miniatures which really like do something and which are like part of the game and which like help you track the game state and which help you like see at the side which equipment like another ship is carrying, or which goods another ship is carrying. I think this is like this has not been done enough, and I really like the idea of having those ships indicate like pretty exactly where you stand right now and what you need to focus on right now and what the other players are doing. So I was a bit stubborn, and I decided that I would rather do it myself with the ships than hand over the game to someone without and have them produce it without the ships. And yeah,
Yeah.
this was like a
Yeah,
decision
I'm pretty sure
which
there
I
would be also other solutions to have my creatures this way, but I wanted the standees, and well, once I did all those things, all the work for the standees and the inlays, I wanted it to have it that way. Standees give a lot of information with you that other things don't have, like miniatures or chits or something like
Hmm,
that. Yeah. Okay. So
okay.
thank you for the great talk, Michael.
Thank
Um,
you, Clemens, for having me.
it was really nice. Maybe at some point, yeah, I guess we will always share our prototypes, and maybe at some
Yes.
point after we finish our expansions, maybe we work together on a game. I really
Yes, why not?
would
Always,
look forward
always
to
happy
it.
to. Yes.
Okie dokie. Bye
Okay.
bye.
So,
Thank you for joining in. It was really nice with you. Bye bye.
yes. Bye bye. Bye, everyone.